14:20 in the morning for the December 10th, 2022. Brought to you today by Rucket Sports and rucketsports.com. Use promo code 1420RUCK at rucketsports.com for all of your backyard or garage sports training needs. Anyways, folks, sorry for not being on a little bit earlier. Went to the hockey game here in Leopards last night. Teddy bear toss, Hurricanes, Tigers, good time. Place was packed. Got into her a little bit, had a few too many beverages, I guess, and then last night was home early. Like, I'm not the old gray mare. She ain't what she used to be, but I got up quite early as I was going to do this show early this morning at 6 o'clock to get it out to masses for your listening pleasure throughout the day. Ended up sitting on the couch. Before I knew it, it was 8:30. I was up at 6 and up at 8:30. And then I had to go to the umpire clinic and get that going for the kids in here in Southern Alberta. Good turnout today, Southern Alberta Umpire Association clinic. The kids learned something, had a lot of fun doing that. But anyways, I apologize for not getting out there or getting this out there earlier on today. So it's 14:20 in the late afternoon, I guess we'll call this one. But anyways, I'm here to give you some insights and things and thoughts and the rest. But anyways, we'll get into our Christmas party season, so the producers upstairs getting ready, getting all gussied up, and so I thought I'd jump on anyways and get the show rolling and get one out there for you guys to listen to. Probably be Sunday by the time you guys listen to this. Anyways, the Toronto Maple Leafs. I got something to admit. I am not proud of it. Something you probably didn't want to hear me say, or something you didn't anybody want to say. But I'm a Leafs fan through and through. I'm a Leafs guy. I was kind of born into it. Not born into it, but at a very young age, I became a Leafs fan. My cousin, Bill Derlago, played for the Leafs, drafted by the Vancouver Canucks, ended up playing for the Leafs. My brother was actually conceived at his wedding in my uncle Mike's trailer, and that's why my brother is called Mike. So I'm a Leafs fan. There's no getting around it. I was quite fortunate as a kid to be able to go to Leafs games, go downstairs and meet the players and meet guys that played for the Leafs back then. So I've been a Leafs guy forever. It's just one of those things. I don't say I'm not proud of it, but I've masked it for a lot of years. And I've faked it over the years, but in general, I'm a Leafs fan. I don't follow it as much as I used to. The lockouts and all the things that happened kind of turned me sour against professional hockey, but I'm still a Leafs guy through and through. And so for those of you who aren't Leafs fans, I apologize for what you got to listen to, because I know there's a lot more anti-Leaf people out there than they're Leafs fans. We all know the story. 1968, since they won a cup, they haven't won a round since 2000, God knows what, 2004, I think it was. But it's been a tough go. They had some great years in the 90s there. They went to the conference finals 2 years in a row, the Gilmore years, the Felix Potvin. Man, he was good. I love Potvin. I talked about yesterday how, when as a fledgling goaltender myself, how I like quite enamored, and guys, we'd emulate them, and Potvin was a guy that I kind of started to emulate a little bit. I wasn't nearly as good. I thought it was just as quick, but the paddle down the whole bit, the equipment that he wore, it just flashy. I thought he was a great goaltender. When he left the Leafs, I thought that ended his career, because he felt unwanted. He got a bit butthurt when they brought Joseph in, but that's another story for another day. But those were some really good teams back in the early 90s. I still remember Nikolai Borishevsky's overtime goal in the 93 first round there. And then who can forget the Gilmore goal to Spinorama with Curtis Joseph in net a few years later to be teammates. They weren't teammates, but anyways, those goals in 93, like, they were fantastic teams. And hockey and baseball kind of emulate each other in the fact that there's no better way to bring two people together or a nation together than the dislike of another. And when people dislike, there's so many people who dislike the Leafs and so many people dislike the Yankees, more people actually watch the games because of the dislike of one team. So when the Leafs are relevant and the Leafs are winning hockey games, it brings a lot more eyeballs and earballs to a game. So it's a very important thing for me, I think, as a Canadian, as a Leaf fan. On Saturday nights, who can forget Bob Cole and Harry Neal calling the games there? It was so good and everything else. And when the Leafs are relevant, hockey's more relevant right across the country. And I don't care if you don't think that's true, but it's true. Toronto is the center of the hockey universe here in this country. I don't care if you're Flames, Oilers fan, whatever it is. When the Leafs are relevant, people talk about hockey more. And right now, I actually think that the Leafs are relevant. They have one hell of a team right now. I was so wrong, and you go back to a Belly Up Sports article I wrote about the Leafs winning the Stanley Cup. I'm not saying they're Cup winners. I'm saying they're contenders. But I was so wrong about their goaltending situation. Yes, it's not early anymore. They're a third of the way into the season, but I think that they have a shot. And I was wrong about, I mean, I've been wrong about a lot of stuff on the 1420 podcast, 1420 in the morning, and the rest foul tips, the rest of the shows that we do here in podcast land. But I was wrong about Matt Murray. Man, I had my doubts when the season started, and I thought that them not signing Jack Campbell to a big deal was a huge mistake. But they got away from Campbell. They saw something that the rest of us didn't, because I think the rest of the hockey world was thinking the same thing that I was, that Campbell was the guy, and Matt Murray, who hasn't played a whole bunch over the last couple of years, injuries and doesn't care, it seems, at times, but a lot of he gets butt hurt a little bit. He has turned out to be one hell of a goaltender, and he's been playing very well for them. He stole a game the other night for the Leafs. They got the Flames tonight. The Flames, that team's struggling. I thought they improved that squad a lot. Losing last night in Columbus was a bit of a shock to me. Brent's best didn't go so well on that one, but we'll get to that one anyways. But I think that this Leafs team is really good. There's something a little bit different about this team. And I think the coach, Sheldon Keefe, is doing a hell of a job with the team he's got. He has some injuries there. Morgan Riley's out long term, but I really believe that the Leafs have a legitimate shot. The only problem is, I think, is you look at their record at 17-5-6 right now. They have a great shot, but everybody knows that they have to try somehow, some way. They're going to line up with the Tampa Bay Lightning or the Boston Bruins in the first and second round. They haven't been in the second round in a long time. So the first round is been an albatross per se for the Leafs. So it's going to be very tough for them to get by that first round once again, because the Bruins just don't seem to lose. But the thing is, the 17-5-6 is what the Leafs record is. You take away a couple of those. I mean, you can't take loss away. Obviously, that happened because it happened, and it's stats and it's things. But you take away the 6 overtime losses, the Leafs record is right there with the Bruins. I mean, you go 17-5-3, or they'd be 25-3, right? They're right there with the Bruins. So it's hard to ignore how good the Leafs season has been to this point. I think they got a shot. Mitch Marner's at 21 games straight. He's on a roll. He's been a wagon so far. He seems like he's been a man on a mission, playing with a bit of a chip on his shoulder for whatever reason, but I think it's a good thing. And the thing with the Leafs record is that they are where they are without Austin Matthews scoring a ton of goals like he was last year. So they're at a point right now where they can get rolling here. If Matthews gets going, look out for this Leafs team. The streets will be painted blue and white all over Canada, and don't pretend they won't. There'll be more and more Leafs fans coming out of the woodwork. So I really see that happening. If Matthews can get going, they have a legitimate shot. I'm not saying the Stanley Cup shot, but maybe winning a round or two. And I think as Leaf fans, I think we would be satisfied with that. I know I would be personally if the Leafs would just win a round and get the second round and drum up more interest. Eyeballs will be on it because people like seeing the train wreck that is the Toronto Maple Leafs. And we expect it as hockey fans across the country and across the planet, mind you. So I think it would be a very good thing for hockey if the Leafs were to move forward. You remember the train wreck in 2013 that they were up 4-1 in Game 7 against the Bruins. People still talk about that to this day. Even Leafs fans, people who aren't Leafs fans, talk about that. So it'll be very interesting to see what would happen with that, and if the Leafs and what kind of what would happen in right across the country, Canada, if the Leafs were to go on. Because, like I said, nothing brings two people together more than the hatred of a third. And if there was more people hating the Leafs, that's more eyeballs on the game of hockey. It's the same thing with the Yankees. When the Yankees are relevant, the Yankees are winning, and they're going to the playoffs, people watch games to watch the Yankees lose. And it's the exact same thing that would be happening in the National Hockey League. So it'll be interesting to see how it moves forward. Anyways, that's my thoughts on Leafs. I think they got a shot. And like I said, I'm a Leafs fan. I'm proud of it now. I'm going to confess to it. My brother, like I said, come by it honestly. My brother was my brother was conceived, like I said, at Builder Lego's wedding, number 19 for the Leafs back in the day. Brandon Wheat scored 96 goals in 60 games or something stupid. Look it up on the Hockey DB there at Builder Lego's stats with the Brandon Wheat. It's unbelievable, actually. I should reach out to him and get him on the show, because I guess he is family, but that's just the way things are, right? I haven't done it yet, and so that's just what we're going to do. Anyways, next up on the 14:20 in the AM, which is in now the early PM of the day, is birthday of the day for today. This day in 1969, Rob Blake, Norris Trophy winner, Stanley Cup winner, Olympic gold medal winner, the whole bit. He was born on this day in I don't even know where it was. Doesn't much matter. Born on this day. Hell of a player, had a mean streak on him. He came from those defensemen with, you look at the great big guys, you looked at like McInnes and Pronger, just had a bit of a mean streak on them, and they played the game a little bit differently, and they had that edge to them. They wouldn't mind sticking you throat a little bit, making things a little bit uncomfortable for you here and there. But he was that kind of guy that teams loved. He was a great LA King. I think he's still with the organization there somewhere. And then he moved on to the Avalanche. That's where he won his cup, and then he had a cup of coffee at the end of his career with the San Jose Sharks. Hell of a player. Obviously, he's a Hall of Famer, and he's an actual Hall of Famer. He's one of those guys that was a difference maker. Like, there's so many guys now that are going in the Hall of Fame that I think are Hall of pretty good. Rob Blake was one of those guys that you knew when you were playing against him. And that 2002 team, the Olympic gold medal team in Salt Lake City, that was unbelievable. That the squad that they put together had some younger guys. That was Jerome McGinley's coming out party. The way he ended up on that team is a story. Maybe I'll get onto that maybe next weekend. If I can get out of bed on next Saturday morning, we'll get into that a little bit. But that 2002 Olympic gold medal team that won in Salt Lake, that was unbelievable. The way that it all got put together. The Gretzky, his little diatribe talking about how they're kind of getting screwed and everybody hates Canada, the world stage and everything else. And the way the tournament started for Canada. But like I said, Rob Blake, he was one of those guys that was just unbelievable. Anyways, this day in sports, 1992, the NHL award franchises to Miami and to Anaheim. Miami ended up becoming the Florida Panthers, and Anaheim ended up becoming the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim. They just since changed to the Ducks of Anaheim. Thank God they got rid of that Mighty Ducks thing. That was ridiculous. It was almost a shame for the game of hockey having that out there, being the Mighty Ducks for so long. But that's this day in 1992. Also in 2005, Reggie Bush, my USC Trojans, won the Heisman Trophy. The Heisman Trophy is going to be given out again tonight. Caleb Williams for the Trojans is the favorite to win the whole thing. So good luck to him. Reggie Bush, we all know the story. His parents got some kickbacks and this, that, and the other. Now they just call that NIL in the college football world. But Reggie got himself a house, and his parents got the Heisman taken away from him. So that's just the way things kind of go. But anyways, this day in sports history, 2005, Reggie Bush, what an electric player he was. USC Trojans. Fight on, Trojans. And Caleb Williams, hopefully he wins a Heisman tonight. Brent's best bets from Bodog tonight. We'll do them for tomorrow. You guys listen to this tonight or tomorrow morning, bright and early. Brent's best bet from Bodog. Make a play at bodog.com today. Use our personalized link at Bodog, but bet responsibly. This one's going to blow your mind, guys. I got this Pittsburgh Steelers over the Baltimore Ravens. I got the Minnesota Vikings losing to, get this straight, the Detroit Lions. It's going to happen. And then I got the Jets are going into Buffalo, keeping their playoff hopes alive, and they are going to beat the Buffalo Bills. Put down 20 and win yourself $272.98 at bodog.com today. I got Steelers, Vikings, Jets in that order. Put down 20 at Bodog. Click on our link. It's on all our stuff. You'll find it pretty quick and easy. Anyways, thought I'd come on before we go to the Christmas party tonight and start celebrating the Christmas season. Going to Fort McLeod for Pooger's birthday party. Anyways, 14:20 in the late PM, but we'll label it as a 14:20 in the AM. Have a good day, folks, and we'll talk to you again on Monday morning.